Good afternoon. Welcome to UBC's Lunchtime News. My name is Priscilla Nalwoga and this is Saturday, 23rd of October, 2021. Delighted to have you with us this afternoon. Obviously, the day started off with a lot, especially in the world of current affairs. And as inspiring Uganda being our motto, our duty is here to bring you all this information in detail. Starting off with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has handed over 282 double-cabin pickups at Chief Administration offices under the COVID-19 National Response Fund. The vehicles were purchased at US $22,000 each, and they were from donations aimed at fighting COVID-19 pandemic. The fund is chaired by Mr. Emmanuel Katongole, and it is receiving a total contribution valued at 69.2 billion shillings from the figure of 32.2 billion shillings, which was received in kind. President Museveni said from the 1960s, NRM always believed in Africans having capacity to solve their own problems. Here are the details to this report.
Fight the culture of tendering through middlemen. Don't buy through middlemen. Because now you can see that my approach, if we had taken the other approach of buying from the traders, we would have bought 140 vehicles only. Because it is $50,000. This one is less than a half. But now we bought 282 vehicles. So that's culture. So when we were debating what to do with the money, some of the people were talking of vaccines. I said vaccines. How would the Ugandans see the vaccine? If you have vaccine in the government, let the government be the one to buy the vaccines. But the money of the Ugandans, let it go to things which they can see. That's why I insisted on these vehicles.
Your Excellency, present among the people here are the chief administrative officers across the country, who are our counting officers. They are going to receive these vehicles on behalf of districts. It is my appeal to these cows that these vehicles are well maintained, like others have said, and used for the right purpose. We do not want to see them being used to ferry bricks, to carry sand, and many other items.
Currently, we have 207 patients admitted in health facilities countrywide, and the positivity rate has dropped from 21% to 2% as of today. The dominant variant that is circulating in the country is the Delta variant. The daily average number of confirmed cases over the last 2 weeks has stabilized at 78 cases countrywide, from an average of 1,445 cases at the peak of the second wave in June. Similarly, the daily average number of deaths has declined to between 2 to 5, compared to 57 deaths at the height of the second wave. Your Excellency, we have regions that are not doing very well, and I will list them. In the last 1 week, Kampala City has again emerged as the region with the highest number of infections, followed very closely by Teso sub-region. And in Teso sub-region, we have affected districts as Soroti and Katakwi areas. These vehicles are strictly for use in the medical departments. They are deployed to the offices of the DHOs, the principal medical officers of cities and municipalities and others, and they are to be used strictly for surveillance, but under the supervisions of the chief administrative officers and the town clerks.
You called upon the people of Uganda, all of us, to come out and try to solve our problems using our local solutions. And the people of Uganda responded to your call, and that shows the love that the people of Uganda have over your leadership. The cash donations were about 35 billion shillings. And under your guidance, Your Excellency, this money has been ably used to do part of the work that you commissioned us to do. This year, you guided us that this money should be deployed to areas that are not consumables, to areas that Ugandans can see at least for some time. And the Minister of Health suggested that there is big problem when it comes to local government in reaching out to the patients. Your Excellency directed, guided, that we go out and buy 282 double cabin pickups 4-wheel drive. We had a number of virtual meetings with the Toyota Corporation, and were able to achieve a landmark price of $22,000 per pickup.
Well, you have had that positive news. The fight against coronavirus is still on, and please go get your vaccination today. Compulsory vaccination over international truck drivers plying the East African roads has started in Elegu border post. According to the truck drivers, Chairperson Byron Chinene, only 5% of the truck drivers are vaccinated, adding that rolling out a compulsory vaccination will curb the spread of coronavirus at the border points. We do have one of our reporters who was at the border.
If the virus doesn't have wings, it can't move by its own. But imagine if a trucker driver has got it from Juba all the way is going to Mombasa. It will just take 3 days that virus to move from Juba up to Mombasa, because it has been given transport by a trucker driver. That's why we are concentrating more especially on trucker drivers to see that they are vaccinated, and the Minister of Health comes nearer to them to vaccinate them.
The chairperson of truck drivers at Uganda-South Sudan border town of Elegu says a mandatory COVID-19 vaccination is the way to go.
I've been saying all the way that taking the vaccination is a choice. But for us, we are saying it is not a choice, because now there are areas where there are restrictions. Some trucker drivers cannot go there without a vaccination card.
Currently, international truck drivers cannot access or exit Uganda without an evidence of a COVID-19 test in a period of 14 days.
Chukua kijanjo ya corona, kisiki mbaya na kuwa mzuri, umedungwa mzuri kwa heshima. Na nimechukua kadi ndo hii. Kijanjo ni mzuri, watu waende wajidunge, wasiogope.
Muyindo is a Congolese veteran truck driver who believes that East African countries need to unite in the campaign against COVID-19 pandemic. The Uganda South Sudan cross-border trade chairperson, Margaret Auma, believes that this will improve business at the border due to reduced fear of contracting the virus.
Because we have been living in fear of getting the virus from these truck drivers. Much as, okay, once somebody is vaccinated doesn't mean this person is not going to contract the virus again. It's going to help us. It's going to relieve us of the fear.
The Executive Director, Uganda Professional Drivers Network, Omongo Ndugu, says the vaccination is being supported by the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, and this will help government popularize vaccination among drivers.
So as we are here, we are proud of Private Sector Foundation for having accepted our request to study the state of observation of SOPs by the drivers and the people who handle the drivers. Because the drivers are not always alone. They have mechanics, they have people.
Over 600 truck drivers ply the Kampala to Juba highway on a daily basis.
Well, make sure that you get your vaccination. It's not only just for drivers, but it's also for the elderly, those that are above 18 years of age. But our school-going teachers, please go get your vaccination. For more vaccination details, go over to our Twitter handle, which is at UBC TV Uganda, and you will get to know which locations are available for you nearest to your community to get that vaccination. But away from that, looking at weather, nature and climate, water levels in Uganda's main water bodies remain high, leveling low-lying riverbanks and lake shores of flooding. A recent seasonal weather forecast by the Ministry of Water and Environment is indicating that the levels of major lakes have been fluctuating at an average of 12.86 meters. This has led to incessant flooding in areas around major water bodies, and this has caused displacement of communities.
For the last 2 years, levels of Uganda's major water bodies have remained high, a situation that has led to displacement of hundreds of people due to the overflow of lakes and rivers. Excessive rainfall in water catchment areas of the 23 rivers discharging to Lake Victoria, including Nzoia and Yara in Kenya and Kajera in Rwanda, more than doubled their volumes, a situation attributed to climate change.
We had a very big problem on Lake Victoria, Port Bell, River Kagera, the source of River Kagera, and some other places of the Lake Victoria. And then at the same time in Choga, we were at in Choga Lake. We opened up very many landing sites.
Most of the recharge into Lake Victoria is from rainwater, therefore regulating the water levels in the lake basin. The discharge at Narubale and Chira power stations is being maintained at 1,700 cubic meters per second from the previous 2,200 cubic meters per second to minimize the overflowing of Choga and Albert shorelines, the River Nile downstream lakes, also maintaining ample storage in Lake Victoria. According to the September-October 2021 seasonal weather forecast issued by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Lake Albert water levels have been fluctuating at an average of 14.38 meters.
So I don't know what to do. My kids are suffering. Government.
However, the water level of Lake Choga slightly rose by 2 centimeters from 13.98 meters to 14 meters, which is 41 centimeters below the highest recorded level of 14.41 meters in December 2020, with an average fluctuation rate of 14.03 meters recorded over the past month. The rising water levels in Lake Choga and Lake Albert, coupled with the current erratic torrential rainfall, is expected to lead to more floods and therefore more displacement and destruction of properties in areas adjacent to the water bodies.
And I saw water was coming there.
Lake Victoria water levels increased from 12 meters in October 2019 to 13.48 meters in December 2020, the second highest level recorded since it rose to 13.41 meters in 1964.
Then two of them joined and proceeded up to Mediterranean Sea. So we have two sources over here. The 70% from the lake and 30% from down here join the White Nile.
The rising water levels have caused significant flooding on the small islands and shoreline communities, displacing over 200,000 people in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania.
This flood have destroyed the two villages, Namsambia and the town east village. They are all destroyed. Now their life have become very difficult. Now there is no jobs. We are suffering a lot. So we need some help. Government should help us.
The waters continue to submerge and destroy homes and key infrastructure along shorelines, threatening livelihoods in swaths of low-lying shorelines of Ntoroko, Amlata, Bulisa, Kayunga, Pakwach, and Nakasongola districts, among others. Business at Gaba Beach, Port Bay, KK Beach, Miami Beach, among other happening places, has partially been disrupted because the areas have been submerged by flood waters.
Sirina buyambi bwonna emmere sirina wenfumbire bwe nabadde nti nagezaako nfulumye egweru amazzi ne gajjula mu kyoto gava wansi kale sirina buyambi bwonna.
Gavumenti etuyambe erabe okutuwa ebiveera obundi erabe okutuwa ebyokula tusindikira ebyokula okukola saa zino ebyokula bakabitwala biri amezi nka 3 bano banati bano bagaruka amasomero saa zino amazima g'entalibanamu.
The increase in water volumes through time can be observed using the state of the ocean interface. In April 2020, Uganda experienced a nationwide electricity outage due to a floating island of water hyacinth and papyrus that blocked the intake of the Naruwali power station in Jinja. Loss of forest cover, encroachment of wetlands, lake shores, and river banks, including poor land use practices, are blamed for the incessant rainfall patterns, leading to water outflows, floods, and a rise in water volumes.
Suffer. Because back there, we just get money here because of coming of people. But these days, people are not here now. Water just chases us away.
In the past 100 years, Lake Victoria has had an average water level of 12 meters, with the lowest recorded at 10.35 meters in 1953, followed by 10.53 meters in 2005 to 2006.
Naye tewali mbeera yonna naawe okusula tunoonya tetulina. Bw'oteekawo ekyoto amazzi gajja. Kenya kiro yali mpitirivu nnyo. Amataba ne gayingira mu nnyumba ne gatuddusa era twasula wabweru awatali magunde mataba.
Habimana Deo reporting for UBC News.
Well, thank you so much, Habimana Del, for that report. Surely nature is speaking, and land encroachment on nature is also the other challenge that is causing the water levels to go high. So let's be vigilant and may the authorities do their part in actually protecting nature and our environment as the Pearl of Africa. Well, allow us to take a short break on our UBC lunchtime news. When we return, we're going to be talking to the resident district commissioner of Mityana, and we want to know what is the security status of Mityana and also what is the preparation plan for the by-elections that are coming up within that area code. Stay with us.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cup competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175*94# to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy a 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175*94# to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175# and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello, it's me again, Jenny Kafulua Shares. In my other video, I showed you how to open an SCD account using MTN Momo. Now let me tell you about the MTN Shares offer. You can apply for MTN Uganda shares for as low as 100,000 shillings. And the offer even gets better when you apply using MTN Momo. Because for every 100 shares you apply for, you get 10 extra shares. Enyongeza for free. Yes, it's true. There's no limit to the number of shares you can apply for. No. So are you ready to apply for some MTN shares? It's very easy. Just get your MTN phone and follow these very simple steps. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select 2 to apply for MTN shares. Select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Your SCD account and broker details will be instantly shown to you. Please reply with option 1 to confirm. Select the option of the number of shares you want to apply for, then enter your PIN to authorize. Finally, please select option 1 to confirm that you have read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will now receive an SMS confirming your application. That's it. You will now have to wait a bit for the approval of your transaction. The shares allocated to you will be confirmed after the offer period closes by the end of November. Oh wait, before I go, let me remind you about the terms and conditions. Please read them and the prospectus before you apply. And if you need any further assistance, go to any MTN service center, a Stanbic Bank branch near you, or a licensed stockbroker.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Well, good afternoon to you once again, and thank you so much for joining us on UBC's Lunchtime News. My name is Priscilla Nalwoga, and as I had shared earlier, we are having a guest on this show. We're going to be talking to the resident district commissioner of Mityana region. We want to find out, number one, on the issues to have conversation about is the land disputes that are continuously echoing around the area of Mityana, but also the court verdict that was passed over the woman MP position within the Mityana region. And here to have this conversation with us is Nixon Kabuye. Thank you so much for joining us, Nixon Kabuye.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yes.
Yes, how are you?
As RDC of Mityana, what are the positives about Mityana that you can reassure Ugandans about?
Thank you very much. I want to thank the management of UBC for inviting me. Mityana, we have a lot of good things, by the way, despite the fact that all the time we are in news. People do a lot of agriculture, they plant a lot of trees, they are trying to be in the hotel industry and entertainment. They have also they do fishing. It's a way to Fort Portrait, so it's a tourism stopover. We are not doing bad. Okay. Yeah.
So in terms of trade, you're not doing bad. But it turns out that in terms of land, there's so many dispute stories that we are seeing coming out within the area of Mityana. And we want to find out, why are we having so many land conflicts, land disputes, land disagreements between the settlers and investors within the region of Mityana?
Thank you very much. The disputes, I can put them in three groups. One, there is the tenant-landlord disputes. Then there is inheritance-related disputes and land registration processes related disputes. The tenancy and the tenant-landlord, those ones are very, very historical, and they are very many. Yes. Actually, in Greater Mubende, actually, largely, the entire Uganda region has that problem. And it was noted long ago that we have whom you call settlers, the tenants on someone's land, who have two categories, the lawful and the bona fide. And when they were drafting the 1995 constitution, they said a lawful one was accepted by the landowner. Okay. A bona fide was not accepted, but he had settled 12 years before the 1995 constitution. And he was not challenged. His settlement was not challenged. So they legalized his settlement and baptized him a bona fide watchpant. Now, the government, after 4 years of the constitution, made the 1998 Land Act. And in that Land Act, section 41, they said we shall have a land fund to compensate landlords so that the occupants can stay without any problem. Now, the biggest challenge we are having, which you have raised now, is that we have landlords who don't know the law, or who know the law and want to work on contract. The law. Yes. Then we also have tenants who don't know the law, or who have also not fulfilled their obligations. Because what makes you a lawful tenant is paying usuru, or buying yourself out, or having occupied and stayed or developed that land. Now, in most cases, each parties do not fulfill their obligations. A landlord has never demanded usul from these people, or I sell to someone else and they are not aware, they deny. So there are so many things surrounding. So me, I wanted I have realized that the government erred by not prioritizing compensation of these landlords, because that is the life-standing solution to the Uganda or Greater Mubende or Mityana problem, especially on land tenancy of landlord and lawful occupant situation. That one, if we don't compensate, we are lying. We are going to stay with problems whether land is sold, whether it's not sold.
So right there, we want to find out, in terms of prioritization of compensation, as the RDC, you have noted the problem. And under your office, how are you actually helping those that need to benefit compensation?
We have agreed that we should now start appealing to people who are ready to be compensated, because it is also a process. You have to write the chairman land commission or secretary land commission, you attach a copy of your title and you say, look, I am ready to be compensated. Then the chief government warrior must come in to measure we open boundaries of your land. Yes, we open boundaries of your land, and it must be valued that in Mityana, in Busunju, in Chikandwa, a plot of land is valued, or an acre, at this rate, so that the government now compensates for something that it has valued, so that you don't overcharge or you are not underpaid.
Nixon Kabuya, in your capacity as RDC, that would require government to cough out some money.
Yes.
And does government have this money to
government has never had enough money, but government has never been poor either. If we make it a priority, we can do something. We can say in this financial year, we have 200 billion, we are going to compensate about 15 landlords. We start each year, we pay a few, and by the end of 5 years or 10, we would have done very, very big job.
And in this current financial year that we started recently, are there any compensations that may happen for the people in Mityana?
I have not picked interest on how much was budgeted for land fund.
But Mr. Kabuya, you're the one saying that this is what we need to do. This is one of the ways forward. Then how do you say you don't have interest?
No. The issue is since 98 up to today is 2021. If I can tell you, we have done less in terms of compensating, and I said we have not made it a priority. If we did, these conflicts would have reduced, especially of the tenant and landlord issues. Yes. When I was a deputy RDC in Bushenyi, we helped 2 landlords to be compensated, and there has never been an eviction at all. Because when they compensate you, you surrender that title. You surrender it to Uganda Land Commission. It is no longer yours.
You have highlighted that the other challenge that people of Mityana are facing in terms of land issues,
the inheritance-related issues. Now, here in Uganda, the land has so many power centers. You find someone has died, there is Mukuru Wechika, there is Owori Nyiriri, there is the administrator, there is Omusika. So you find that there is no one clearly who say, someone has passed on, this is the next thing. And what would have been the next thing to choose a Musika or a Heya, it also takes cultural bureaucracy. We must we must see it, we must do this.
The customs and the
so at times it takes years and years. And you find that someone has passed 20 years from before or 20 years back, and up to now, there is no formal Musika. But people have different issues. Nixon wants to dig. Someone wants to put up apartment. Someone wants to build a house. So many, now the conflicts begin like that. Then people say, we have never shared. Why haven't you ever shared? You have never had a Musika. Why didn't you get a Musika? You have never acquired your room. So it is also a very, very big issue there. Then the third one, which I mentioned, was land registration. Unjakale chapa, where is it? Where do I go? Where do I start? It's also a very, very, very long process of from starting at LC1, the area land committee, the land board, up to when you go to land registry, the surveyors can disappear with your file for ages, and you keep calling throughout the year, and there is no progress. That is also a very big problem. Someone who died with a land that is titled, to successfully transfer this land from the names of the dead person to the names of the administrator, for the administrator to distribute
to the
beneficiaries, it's a very, very long process.
Okay, all right. There's also the issue of fraudsters. When it comes to land registration, we cannot deny it. Under your office, how are you helping people? Because the other thing that you highlighted as far as land is concerned is the fact that people are ignorant, one of the amendments that were made in the Land Act, and that ignorance is causing them and costing them a lot, especially in terms of natural resources such as land. So under your office, how are you actually extending sensitization as far as the Act is concerned?
That's why I started by thanking UBC. Now they are helping me even to sensitize. I have gone in so many meetings, so many rodeos, but the most important thing, the fraudsters take advantage of the other two that we have talked about. If land is occupied, and the Land Act was, I think, was not fair to the landlords, because they say the ushuru must be nominal. When you put the word nominal in real meaning, it is small monies. It has no good meaning. So I am a landlord, I have a title, but I cannot earn anything from my land. So I feel deprived, yet I am the owner. And when you say pay ushuru of 10,000, 15, 20, then I'm a landlord, I'm like, can I even raise school fees from my 10 acres of land when they are paying me 10,000? The answer is no. So this landlord is going to think about, let me sell to Nixon, he will tussle himself out with these tenants.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Nixon Kabuye. But we also want to find out, this week, court nullified Honorable Joyce Bagala's election as Mityana Woman Member of Parliament, and that calls for a by-election. And of course, Miss Judith Navakova is also having more or less this is a win for her, but the by-elections still causes them to go back to the elections and be able to convince people of Mityana of who should actually lead them for these 5 years. As RDC in your office and capacity, what should we be expecting from this by-election?
Thank you, Priscilla. You know, it is all about rules of the game. If Honorable Navakova was not satisfied, she went to court. And now court has decided in her favor. Of course, I think procedurally, if Joyce Bagala appeals, she stays in Parliament. If she doesn't appeal, Electoral Commission is supposed to organize a by-election. And our major issue now is to have a peaceful by-election in the case that it has been fixed and it's going to be organized. And the major component of a peaceful election is to do sensitization and have security in place. So me as chairperson of security, in the event that we are organizing by-elections, we are very lucky that now our forces are not scattered. We can have the by-election well managed to have a peaceful victory.
And I'm glad you have mentioned security. How is security in Mityana right now?
If you have those problems of land, then you have insecurity. Security is not about breaking a house or stealing a goat. Everything that affects people's daily activity to be done normal and in peace is insecurity. So me, my greater problem of insecurity now are land conflicts.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nixon Kabuye. It was a pleasure to get an insight of what's happening in Mityana as far as land is concerned, and also the upcoming by-elections in case the appeal is not accepted by the rule of the law. It's been UBC Lunchtime News. We keep you informed, and Inspiring Uganda is our continued mission. My name is Priscilla Nalwoga, and thank you so much for having been with us. For the rest of the afternoon program, stay tuned to UBC.